Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Swami Srila Prabhupada, the founder Acharya of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness, and he said that the difference between you know animalistic propensities of eating, sleeping, mating, and defending, and the activities of a human being, an animal and a human being, they do these four things: eating, sleeping, mating, and defending, right? So what's the difference between the two then? The four-legged animal and the two-legged human being. And Prabhupada said, everything is all about seeking and questioning. Animals don't seek or question. They simply live their lives by the natural instincts. Their construct is in such a way that they simply do things naturally. But when it comes to a human being, he's got the power of seeking and questioning, and that differentiates a human being from an animal. So on that thought, we have His Grace Kamal Prabhu who has joined us. So we will have him in. Just one sec. Kamal Prabhu, if we could have your video up, yeah. So we welcome His Grace Kamalochan Prabhu, and we welcome you all to the School of Vedic Studies. Without much ado, we will hand over the mic to His Grace Kamalochan Prabhu to begin today's session on the Bhagavad Gita as it is. Over to you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
So, we are in the second chapter. The second chapter we are done till the 37th verse, where we understood that we are not this body, we are spirit soul. Where Krishna, in different ways, he discusses about how there is a distinction between the body and the soul. The soul is eternal, the body is temporary. Nahanyate hanyamane sharire. When the body dies, the soul doesn't die. And next, from the 31st till 37th verse, Krishna talks 4 points, where he says, Arjuna, you told, if I have to enjoy, I should not fight. Rather, it is opposite. If you want to enjoy, actually, you should fight. Because if you fight and lose the war, you will die in the war, then you'll go to heaven and enjoy. If you fight and win the war, you'll enjoy this kingdom in this world. If you don't fight, then people will criticize you that Arjuna is a coward. Nobody will say that you ran out of compassion. And if you suffer in this world because of that. And if you don't fight for the non-performance of your duty, you will suffer in the next world, in your next life. So it is the only way to even enjoy in this world is that you should fight. Though it was not the actual reason for which Krishna wanted Arjuna to fight. The real reason for which Krishna wanted Arjuna to fight is mentioned in the 38th verse. Sukha dukkhe same kritva labha labho jaya jayo tato yuddha yujjasva naivam babam apsasi. So Arjuna had told that I will incur sin if I kill the sinful people. Papameva ashraye dasman hatvaita nattainaha. Arjuna's argument was, even though it is said in the scriptures of politics and economics that if you kill a sinful person, you will not be afflicted by sin, but I want to follow the scriptures of religiosity, which are superior to the scriptures of economics and politics. And I want to be a dharmika. I want to be religious. So a religious person should not kill a sinful person, because by killing a sinful person, he'll be afflicted by sin. Then Krishna says, By killing a sinful person, you'll not be afflicted by sin only when you act on the platform of knowledge. Just by being religious, you'll not be secure that I will not be sinful. Religiosity doesn't guarantee you being sinless. What guarantee that you'll be sinless is being spiritual. How can you be spiritual? Sukadukhe samekritva. Labha labho jaya jayo. Tato yuddha ujjasva. One should work. Like for Arjuna, it is fight. Because Krishna says Arjuna that he should fight. How? Sukadukhe samekritva. Sama means equal. Equal in all circumstances, in both happiness and misery. Labha labho, in both profit and loss. Jaya ajayo, victory and defeat. In all the circumstances, one should maintain equanimity. So by maintaining this equanimity, you should fight. Tato yuddha ujjasva, you should fight for the sake of fighting. Nainam papamapsasi. By doing so, you will not be afflicted by sin. Now, Krishna is telling Arjuna, you fight. So, if Arjuna loses, it is whose loss, whose defeat? Krishna's defeat. Because Krishna is asking Arjuna to fight on his behalf. So, Arjuna is only instrument. So, when we do work in this world, considering ourselves to be instrument of Krishna, then only we can actually maintain this equanimity in profit and loss, in both happiness and misery. In all situations of duality, you can maintain your mental peace to the extent you consider yourself as instrument in the hands of Krishna. If you think that I am the doer, ahankara makes you suffer. Sometimes it takes you so high because you're successful. Sometimes on the high you just fall down when you are a failure. So success and failure affects a person who has got this ahankara. But if somebody thinks I'm just a servant of Krishna, I'm just instrument in the hand of Krishna, then both happiness and the success and failure, everything belongs to Krishna. So one should act. How one should act? Thinking that I'm just the instrument. What Krishna wants to tell at the end of the Bhagavad Gita, Sarvadharman Parityaja Mamekam Sharanam Vraja. Ham tvam sarvapapebhyo mokshayishyami masutaha. Arjuna, just surrender to me. Give up all kinds of religiosity and just surrender to me. The best religion is to give up all religions and surrender to Krishna. There's no religions beyond this. There's no religion beyond giving up all religions and surrendering to real Krishna. That is a real religion. Real religion means to give up all religions and then take up Krishna consciousness. So this is called, this is the instruction of Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita. Now, after speaking about this verse, which is actually a very important verse in the second chapter, where Krishna is talking about Arjuna that you should surrender. When you are surrendered, all your anxieties you. But surrender doesn't mean you don't work. You work. But how? In a surrendered mode. Now, Yeshate, 39th verse. Yeshate vihita sankhe buddhi yogo tvimam shrunu buddhyayukto ya partha karamanam pradhasyasi. Now Krishna says Arjuna, Yeshate avita sankhe. So Arjuna, till now I described to you about what is Sankhya Yoga. Sankhya means samyak, yes, Sankhya, to count. So to count earth, I am not this earth. Water, I am not this water. You go on counting the 24 elements in this world, earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind, intelligence, false ego, and 5 senses, 5 sense objects, and 5 working senses. In this way, you become 23 plus 1 pradhana, the unmanifested modes of the nature. So you go on counting these 24 elements and I conclude that I am not this body. I am not any of these 24 elements. I am this body. So till now, Krishna says, I have spoken to you about Sankhya. Yeshate vita Sankhya buddhi yoga tvimam shrunu. Now I'll explain what is buddhi yoga. Now here the word buddhi yoga refers to karma yoga because generally people think karma yoga means to act. No. Blindly acting is not karma yoga. Acting on the platform of knowledge is called karma yoga. Whatever knowledge Krishna has given till now, that is, not this body of spirit soul. Based on that knowledge, when somebody starts acting, that is called Buddhi Yoga. Buddhi Yoga or Karma Yoga is nothing but Jnana Karma Samanvaya. Samanvaya means harmonization of Jnana and Karma. There are always been two classes of people. One says, work hard, work hard, work hard. One say, give up birth, just renounce, become sannyas. Some people say, enjoy, enjoy, enjoy. Some people say, renounce, renounce, renounce. But Krishna, he has harmonized both. He has taught us how to work with renunciation, how to enjoy with renunciation. So this is a speciality of Bhagavad Gita, which has solved a big problem in the Vedas. The Vedas, there are two clear sections, the Purva Bhaga and Uttara Bhaga. Purva Bhaga means the Karma Kanda, which says that you work hard, do different sacrifices, do your responsibilities, and enjoy in this world, in the next world. Another part is Upanishad, which talks about this body is temporary, this world is temporary, everything is suffering in this world, just give up and then come back to Godhead. There's no point in working in this world, take sannyas. So now people are confused. What should I do? Should I work or give up? Work or give up? Now Krishna says, you work, but give up the proprietorship. Give up the enjoyment time. Don't give up work. So that is called Buddhi Yoga in summary. Don't give up work, but give up what? Attachment. So the problem is not work, the problem is attachment. Of course, this will be elaborately discussed in the third chapter. But for now, Krishna has started laying the seed, saying that Buddhyayukto ya partha karmam thasyasi. When you practice this Buddhi Yoga or Karma Yoga, Arjuna, you will get rid of all the karma bandhana, bondage of karma, bondage to this world, and go back to Godhead. So now, we should know that there are three Sankhya Yogas. One Sankhya spoken by Kapila in Bhagavad, that is pure devotional service. Another Sankhya by atheistic Kapila. We should not accept this atheistic Kapila Sankhya. He says, Ishwarena Siddhe, you don't require God, there's only Prakriti and Purusha. So we don't have to require God, no God, this world is full of matter and souls. They come together and then they suffer, enjoy, reactions, all these things happen. So you don't require God at all. There's another philosophy called Sankhya by atheistic Kapila. But Krishna is speaking a different Sankhya here. What is Sankhya? The Sankhya is spoken by Krishna is theistic Sankhya, but it is limited to the distinction of that I am not this body, I am spirit soul. Now, before talking about what is this Buddhi Yoga, in the 40th verse, Krishna talks about the glory of Buddhi Yoga. When you talk about glory of something, then people's attention is captured. So that is why in the 40th verse, Krishna talks about the glory of Buddhi Yoga. Neha vikraman ashosti pratyavayo na vidyate salpamatyasya dharmasya rayate mahato bhayat. So the glory is salpamatyasya dharmasya. Even the practice of this dharma which I am describing to you, salpamatyasya, even little bit of it, rayate mahato bhayat. What is the greatest danger? The greatest danger is that we fall down from the human form of life. Next life, we may get four-legged body, animal body. So anybody who practices this dharma, little bit also, there is no question of any reduction. There is no question of any destruction in this world. Because Ajamila, what happened? He had practiced Krishna consciousness in the beginning stage of life. But for some reason or so, he fell from his position, being attracted to a prostitute. Ultimately, he got up. He got this Krishna consciousness back. Because whatever bhakti he had done before, it did not get lost. The same as second example of Bharata. Bharata, he was actually a king. He was such a great devotee. And he gave up everything just to practice Krishna consciousness 100%. And he went to Nepal, Gandaki river, Beni. There still ashram is there, Bharata ashram is there, where he practiced Krishna consciousness. Somehow he became affectionate to a deer. And by the time of death, he thought of a deer. And the next day he became a deer. And at the end, he became what? Jada Bharat. And he spoke the great philosophy of Krishna consciousness to Raja Rahugana. This shows that anybody practices 1% progress in Krishna consciousness is 1% done. And next life you want to continue. Because we don't want to wait for the next life, but you want to complete in this life itself. But material life is not like that. Until unless completely it is complete, you cannot enjoy. And there is a scope of destruction. Now, for example, if you want to build a house, in this life I'll build foundation. Next life I'll come and build the walls. In the next life I'll come and build the roof. And the next life I'll do interiors. And in the next life I'll come and happily stay there. No, it's not possible. Once whatever you accumulated, whatever assets you accumulated, everything is destroyed by death. Everything is taken away. But what you continue carry from this life to next life is not your bank balance. What you carry from this life to next life is not your house, your assets, your relatives, your position. Maybe you might be a PhD. In the next life, when you come as a baby crying out, and then your mother will say, "Hey, go to the school." You say, "Mommy, the previous guy was a PhD. Who cares? Again, you have to go to the school." So, but bhakti is not like that. If you have progressed 1%, you carry it to the next life. Then 5% you're done, and next life. Because we don't want to procrastinate. We want to finish off 100% bhakti in this life itself. But still, the glory is such that this is not this process of Krishna consciousness is not destroyed by death. Now, before Krishna talks about Karma Yoga, he wants to say that there is a distinction between Karma Yoga and Karma Kanda. There are some group of people who are expert in Vedas, but they don't know the purpose of the Vedas. They think the purpose of the Vedas is to do some sacrifices, do some karma, and go to heaven and enjoy. But that is not the purpose of Veda. So first he wants to talk about those people who are called karma kandis. And then he talks about what is Karma Yoga. Because to know what is Karma Yoga, you should know who Karma Yogis are not. But they call themselves as Karma Yogis. Who are they? Let us see. 41st verse. Vyavasayatmika buddhir ekeha kurnandana bhaushakhairantascha buddhayo vyavasayinam. Those who are Vyavasayatmika buddhi, whose intelligence is irresolute. That means their buddhi is focused that I want to come back to Godhead. This is the last life. So those whose mind is fixed up, they are not interested in so many fruitive activities mentioned in the Vedic literatures. And those who are not Vyavasayatmika, their mind is Bahushaka. Sometimes that vrata, sometimes this worship, sometimes that god, this god. No, they are called Bahushaka Anantascha Buddhayo Vyavasayinam. No, he says, Yamimam Pushpitam Vacham Pravadanta Vipastitaha Vedavadarata Partha Nanyadasthiti Vadinaha. There are some people who are called Vedavadarata. Means they accept Veda only for namesake. They don't really accept Veda with the purpose of the Veda. The purpose of Veda is not to stay in this world. The purpose of the Veda is to make us get out of this world. But these people who are Vedavadarata, they accept the Vedas only for namesake. So they, Vadinaha, they argue. They say that Nanyadasthiti Vadinaha, there is no other purpose of this life, no other purpose of Veda other than Swarga. Yamimam Pushpitam Vacham Pravadanta Vedavadarta Vartha Nanyadasthiti Vadinaha. They argue that the purpose of life is only just two things. That is, just somehow or other do some activities in this world and then enjoy. And they say, 43rd verse, Kamatmana Sargapara. Kamatmana, to enjoy you satisfy your desires. How? Go to heaven and enjoy Sargapara. Janma Karma Phalaprada. And do so many different activities by which you are trying to satisfy your senses. Kriya Vishesha. Do so many different kinds of special, that's marriage, this thing and that thing, that prata, this prata. All these things just meant for sense enjoyment. Bhoga Ishwari Gatim Prati. The whole purpose is to enjoy and Aishwarya, to get lot of wealth. They are not interested in liberation. They just think this material world is meant for enjoyment. Veda is meant for enjoyment. Now, Bhoga Ishwar Prasaktanam, such people. Taya Prata Chetasam. So those people whose mind is captivated by Bhoga and Aishwarya, enjoyment and some opulence, they are Prasaktanam Taya Aparta Chetasam. Their intelligence is captivated. Vyavasayatmika buddhi samadho vidiyate. So for them, there is no question of any samadhi. There is no vyavasayatmika buddhi for him. Now, what is the meaning of samadhi? Samadhi means samyak adhiyate spin atmatattvam yathatma iti samadhi. Nityam completely engrossed in atma tattva, completely contemplating on the real nature of the soul. That I am not this body, I am spirit soul. And what is the spirit soul? The spirit soul is nothing but servant of Krishna. To 24 hours meditation on identity, on my identity that I am servant of Krishna, and acting according to the identity that I have to serve Krishna, that is called samadhi. Sometimes people think samadhi means close your eyes and then go or sleep. No. Samadhi means nothing of it. Samadhi means action based on our actual identity, that is, I am servant of Krishna. So when you are fixed up in the identity that I am servant of Krishna, and your action, that action, the activeness is called samadhi. There may be yogi sitting in the Himalayas and doing some so-called meditation, but he is not thinking of Krishna. He is thinking of some black hole or something like that. But there is a lady who is so much in anxiety. It is already 12 o'clock, and now the bhoga has to be offered to the Lord, and she's thinking whether put salt or not, or whether this is enough sugar is there or not. She's working in the kitchen. So she's actually in samadhi, because these things she's making so that it can be offered to Krishna. So she's 24 hours thinking that I'm servant of Krishna and active in her service, and that is samadhi. Now Krishna says, Traigunya Vishaya Veda 47. Nistraigunya Bhavarjana Nirdandva Nitya Sattvasto Niryogakshema Atman. So clearly, Krishna says, Oh Arjuna, most of the Vedas, practically 99.99% part of the Vedas, Traigunya, they talk about the Traigunya Vishaya, the knowledge of the modes of nature. It is material knowledge. But Arjuna, this Traigunya Bhavarjuna, you go beyond the modes of nature. Nirdvandvo, crossover, go beyond the dualities. Nitya Sattvasto, be situated in pure goodness. Niryogakshematma, don't bother about your own self. Krishna will take care of you, just work for Krishna. So this is called Karma Yoga. Yamanartha Udapane. Now, somebody may say, why there are so many things in the Vedas? You do this, you do this, you do this, Satvata, this, Svata, Japa is there. No. Brahmanasya Vijanataha. Like in a village, there are so many wells. One well for drinking water, one well for washing clothes, one well for taking bath, one well water for the cows, etc. So you have to go to different wells. But if there is a village in which there is a big pond, big lake, everything, drinking water, taking bath, and washing clothes, everything can be in the same lake. In our village, we had a big lake. Morning, everybody used to go. Somebody is taking drinking water from the lake. Somebody is washing pots there. Somebody is washing clothes there. Somebody is swimming there. So, lake is pure because the lake water is connected to the patala. But one place, all actions, all work can be done. In the same way, instead of going to the different parts of the Vedas, Krishna says, just approach a Brahmana, one who knows the purpose of the Veda. He will tell you what to do. Karmannevadhikaraste mahapaleshu kadachana ma karma phala heturbhur mate sangotsva karmani. Very famous verse. This verse is the most misunderstood verse. When you ask somebody, why don't you take this Gita, read this Gita? Say, Gita, I know. Oh, what do you know? Gita? I know Gita. Karmannevadhikaraste. What is the next time? You just don't require. Karmannevadhikaraste. I am doing my work. My job is being engineer. I'm doing my job as being, I'm doing Karma Yoga. I'm a doctor, I'm doing Karma Yoga. I'm a housewife, I'm doing Karma Yoga. I'm a butcher, I'm doing karma yoga, it's my work to kill animals. I'm selling wine, it's my karma yoga. Crazy. This is not the meaning of this verse. We should know this verse has got 4 lines. Karma nivadikaraste, ma phaleshu kadachana, ma karma phala heturpur, ma te sangutsa karmani. So what exactly Krishna is telling in this verse is, karmani eva adhikaraste. Arjuna, you have the adhikara, right to perform your karma. Now, when you do some karma, you get some results, and sometimes you don't get results. Sometimes you get half results, or sometimes you don't get expected results. Sometimes you get more than expected results. But these results are not dependent on your karma, Arjuna. That is why, ma phaleshu kadachana, you have the right to perform work, not on the result of work. Like if somebody tells you, your boss says, see, you have the right to perform your work, but you don't have the right or the salary. How you feel? Hey, what are you saying? I work hard for the entire month, and then when the time salary comes, I don't have the right or the salary. Even I want to tell you further, ma karma phala heturpur. Don't think the company is flourishing. You got the result because of your hard work. Many times you work hard, but still you don't get the result. What does it mean? Krishna is confusing Arjuna like anything in all of us. But still, you should work. You should not be attached to non-working. Mate sangotva karmani. How to understand that? Krishna is telling Arjuna, you have the right to perform your duty, not over the results, because the results are not because of your hard work. Nobody can say, work hard, you get results. No. Results are in the hands of Krishna. It is Krishna who gives you the results, the same Krishna who doesn't give you the results. So this shows that how Krishna is telling Arjuna to work in the mood of surrender. You don't have the right over the results because it is me who gives the results. Okay. It is not by my hard work I get the results. And even if I get the results, they don't belong to me. So why at all I should work hard? Krishna says the only reason for you to work hard is that you get purified. So karma is meant for purification of the heart. So when you work, when you accomplish your responsibilities, these responsibilities actually purify you. Otherwise, if you don't work to accomplish the responsibility, you work for some result, then when you get result, you'll be very happy. When you don't get the result, you'll suffer. And you'll be caught up in karma bandhana because you'll forget that the result giver is Krishna. And result giver is Krishna, the result enjoyer is also Krishna. So you offer the results to Krishna and at the same time understand even the results were given by Krishna. So you should neither be attached to work nor to the results of the work. That is called yoga. 48th verse Krishna says, Yogastha kuru karmani sangam tektva jananjaya siddha dasadhyo samabhutva samatvam yoga uchyate. Arjuna, sangam tektva. You have to give 2 things. Number 1, the results. Number 2, the doership, that I am the doer. That means attachment to the results, attachment to the work itself. Everybody is attached to something. You just cannot stay without doing something. So one should do, but give up what? Not work. Give up attachment to the results, attachment to the work. That means attachment to the doers. I am the doer. Just consider I am servant of Krishna. I am instrument in the hands of Krishna. And the result is Krishna is the enjoyer. And that is actually called karma yoga. Yogastha karmani sangam tektva dhananjaya siddha asiddhyo samo bhutva samatvam yoga uchyate. So doing work is not called yoga. Being equiposed in both happiness and misery, success and failure, that is called yoga. And the equality comes when you think that you are doing for Krishna. So if you're successful, I'm not successful, Krishna is successful. If there's failure, I'm not a failure, Krishna is a failure. So if there's profit, it's Krishna's profit. It is loss, Krishna's loss. I'm just an instrument in the hands of Krishna. Siddha asiddhayo samo bhutva samatvam yoga uchyate. Dure nevaram karma buddhi yoga dhananjaya buddho sharanam anuccha Kripanaha phala hetavaha. Interesting verse, 49th verse, where Krishna is telling Arjuna, Arjuna, dure nahi. Keep all the avaram karma, the abominable activities away. That means Krishna is wanting to tell Arjuna, the activities performed out of attachment, keep them away. Dure avaram karma, buddhi yoga dhanantya, by the power of buddhi yoga. And buddho sharanam nichya kripana palahetavaha. And those who are practicing this Krishna consciousness, they are surrendered to Krishna. And those who expect results, those who are attached results, I don't use the word expect. In every work, there is some expectation result, but those who are attached to the results, they are kripana, they are misers. Kripana phala hetavaha, buddhyukto jahatiha, ube sukrudukshkute, tasmad yoga yujjasva, yoga karmasu kaushalam. This is the art. Yoga karmasu kaushalam, the art of work. What is the art of work, Arjuna? The art of work is buddhyukto jahatiha, ube sukrudukshkute. That means you practice the art of work, the work, you work without attachment to the results. And that work actually is called buddhi yukta, buddhyukto jahatiha. And that will deliver you from all, both sukruta and duskruti. It will deliver you from bad karma and good karma. Because the bondage is not just because of bad karma. They are bound in this world because of both good karma and bad karma. Tasmat yoga ujjasva is actually summarizing the entire thing. Yogaha karmasu kaushalam. This yoga which I taught, the yoga of work, that is the art of work. Karmajam buddhyuktahi palam tektva vanishya janma bandha vinurukta param padam gacchantya nama. What is the result? Ultimate result? Janma bandha vinirmukta. You will be delivered in this sansara, which is full of janma, mrityu, jarava, the cycle of birth and death. Number one. And number two, gachanti anamayam, padam gachanti anamayam, go to the spiritual world. Both happen simultaneously. Those who are using their intelligence and working without any attachment for the result of the work, neither for the work itself. Now, yadate, when will it happen? This kind of situation, when will I get? Arjuna asks this question. Krishna says, yadate moha kalilam buddhirvatitarishasi tada grantasi nirvedam sotavya cha. Krishna says, Arjuna, the time when you are given up, all the paka things being told by the Vedas, do this, do that, do this, do this. When you become nirvedam, etate moha kalilam, buddhir vetitarishasi. When the karma kanda section of the Vedas, it's like moha kalilam, it is like a jungle of illusion. The Vedic literature, especially the section of the karma kanda, they are like a moha kalila. It is a jungle of illusion. When your intelligence is crossed over this, you become nirvedam, powerless to what people say. You're only interested in serving Krishna. You're only interested in working for Krishna. And that is the time when you achieve 100% Krishna consciousness. Shruti with pratipannate idastasas nischala samadhavachala buddhis tata yogam apsasi. Now when your mind is totally fixed up in the soul, the constitutional position of soul, that being a servant of Krishna, Arjuna, that is the time you achieve a special state called samadhavachala buddhi, which is also known as Sthita Prajna, which is known as being stable in all circumstances. So, as soon as Arjuna heard this thing from Krishna, samadhavachala buddhi. Now, Arjuna says to Krishna, he asks a question, Arjuna Uvacha 54, that I want to know the symptoms of a person who is on the stage of samadhavachala buddhi or Sthita Prajna. Sthita Prajnasya ka bhasha, samadhistasya keshava, Sthita dhikim prabhasheta, kimasita vrajeta kim. 4 questions. Number 1, ka bhasha, what is his language? Kim prabhasheta, how does he speak? Kimasita, how does he sit? Kim vrajeta kim, how does he walk? These 4 questions have some philosophical meanings. Number 1, ka bhasha. Bhasha means language. Language here refers to the general behavior of a devotee, general behavior of one who has practiced one who is on the platform of Sthita Prajna, one who has practiced Buddhi Yoga and achieved the success, achieved perfection in Buddhi Yoga. What are the symptoms? The first symptom is the general behavior. Number 2, Arjuna's question is Kim Prabhasheta. How does he talk? That means how does he react to situations? Number 3, how does he walk? How does he sit? How does he disengage his senses? How does he control his senses? That is the meaning of Kim Asita. And Prajeta Kim, how does he walk? It refers to how does he engage his senses. 4 questions. Externally, how does he walk? What is general behavior? Number 2, how does he react to situations? How does he disengage his senses, control his senses? How does he engage his senses? These are the 4 questions asked by Arjuna. Now, Krishna answers these 4 questions, very interesting. First question, he answers in the 55th verse. Second question, he answers in the 56th and the 57th verse. Third question, he answers in the 58 till 62 or 64, 63. And 64th verse, till the end of the chapter, he talks about the fourth question asked by Arjuna. That is, how does he walk or how does he engage his senses? Let us talk one by one. Now, what is the general formula by which a devotee or a Sthita Prajna conduct his life? 55th verse. Prajahati kaman sarvan parthamanogutan atmannevatmanam tushta Sthita prajnastadochate. So Krishna tells Arjuna, the general behavior of a devotee is that he gives up all desires. Oh, how? Why should give up all desires? Because yan manogatan. They're all mental concoctions only. Today something we say, I want it. A child say, I want it, I cannot live without it, please. Starts crying. Then the father and mother gets him a toy. That toy, nice, so happy. And after 3 days, he destroys the toy. Now, after he grows up, I want a bicycle. Somehow, okay, the parents give him bicycle. He is rowing a bicycle. You can see the first week, 10 days, he's always the bicycle. And after a month, you'll find the bicycle is in one corner. He says, I don't want it now. I want some video games. Now he becomes a youth. And he says, I cannot live with her. I love her. And he also says, I cannot live without you. I want. Get married. Then, I did the biggest mistake of getting married to her. I had a biggest mistake of getting married to him. I'm frustrated. Let us take divorce. What happened to your desires? There was a time when you say, I cannot live without it. All the desires, they are just mental only. It will make you mental. I don't know. In South India, you say, he's gone mental means he's gone mad. So desires make you mad. Because today, what you want, tomorrow, the same thing you say, I don't want. So it is only mental concoction. So give up. Prajahati kaman sarvan parthamanogatam atmannevatmanam tushtaha sthita prajnastadochate. Now, if I am giving up everything, all desire, how will I enjoy? Enjoy Krishna consciousness. Enjoy Gita. Enjoy Bhagavatam. Enjoy chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. You become satisfied by Atmana Tushtaha. You become Tushta by being connected with those, with the soul, being connected with the objects or the things which are connected to the soul. Now, after speaking about the general behavior of a devotee, and he gives up all desires and is only taking pleasure in chanting, reading, Bhagavatam, association of devotees, speaking about Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam, that is called Sthita Prajna. Dukkeshu nudvignhamanatva sukeshu kita spriha itaraga bhayakroda sthitir muniruchyate. Now, very interesting verse. The second question asked by Arjuna, how does he react to situations? He reacts to situations in this way. There are 2 kinds of situations we experience in our life. Dukkha and Sukha. That is why this verse starts with Dukkeshu anudvignamana. When miseries come, the Sthita Prajna, a devotee, is not disturbed. And Sukheshu vigata spriha. He is not too excited and elated when sukha comes. How? How does he do that? Because when dukkha comes, he tells Krishna, "Oh my dear Krishna, I was supposed to suffer more because of your mercy, less suffering has come. According to my karmas, my suffering was much more because I have done some service to you, less suffering has come. Now, sukha comes, oh Krishna, I am not very much qualified for this sukha of facilities, but since the special mercy you have sent it, so I'll use it in your service." So when facilities come, when happiness comes, when things are very nice, the devotee uses them in service of Krishna. When dukkha comes, he thinks it is the best time for me to do bhajan. He chants Hare Krishna Mahamantra, he reads the Bhagavad Gita and the Bhagavatam. So every situation, whether sukha or dukkha, whether happiness or misery, both are very favorable for a devotee, because in happiness, the best time to serve, in misery, best time to do bhajan, best time to chant. Now somebody says, I don't have any problem with the misery. I don't have any problem with the happiness. But I have problem with the person who gives me misery. Then Krishna answers this, saying that, Yaha sarvatra visneha anavisneha. Neither be attached to a person who gives you happiness. Neither be detached or neither be averse to a person who is giving you unhappiness. Because these two are only agents. If somebody is giving you misery, he is like a police person bringing a warrant. What the police has got to do? Whatever crime you have done, he's just bringing you with the arrest warrant, that's all. Your bad karmas are being delivered by one person, that's all. That person is not bad. He's actually my bad karma coming to me through that person. And then another one. Sukudukke sarvatra visneha tattat prapya shubha shubham. Somebody is giving you shubha. Somebody giving you happiness. In your karma, some happiness was this, that person is only agent. Na abhinandati. So don't say any thank you. Na dveshti, neither hate. Somebody has praised you and say, oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. Tomorrow he may criticize you. Just be neutral. Just accept these are all your own karmas coming to you through different people. So now, going further, somebody says, if you are behaving like that, you are a stone, you are a hard-hearted person. You replace every emotion with just compassion. Just be compassionate, that's all. Sitapagnya has only one emotion called compassion. Yada samharate chayam kurmungane sarvashaha. Now starts the third question. Third question of Arjuna was what? That how does Sitaprajna control his senses, refrain his senses? He does it. How does he do? Like a tortoise. Yada samharate chayam kurmungane sarvashaha indriyan indriyartebhyas tasya prajna pratishtha. When a Siddha Prajna, he sees that some danger is there. There is some things which are going to distract him from Krishna consciousness. The sense objects are there. He withdraws his senses like a tortoise. There's a tortoise, you go near the tortoise, he withdraws its legs and it withdraws the whole mouth and head, everything inside. Just find a rock there. A rock kind of thing, that is the body. So, Vishyamin Vartante, Niraharasya Dena, Rasavarjana Supyasya, Param Drishtva Nivartate. Till the time we are Param Drishtva, means till we experience taste in Krishna consciousness, we have to artificially somehow restrain our senses. Avoid certain things which are actually not good for us. Smoking, drinking, illicit sex, gambling. All these things which are actually antagonistic to Krishna consciousness, you have to keep yourself away. At the same time, you should look at Param Drishtva. You should try to chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra as much as possible, more attentively as possible. You should read the Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam more attentively. Then you will develop taste. That to the extent you have taste in Krishna consciousness, that testing a natural distaste will be there for materialistic things. The senses. Somebody may say, no, with my own strength, I will become Krishna conscious, I will control my sense. Very dangerous. 60th verse. Purushasya vipaschitaha indriyani pramathini haranti prasabam manaha. Even though one may be very learned, a big yogi, what happened? Vishwamitra, gone. One Menaka came, gone. So without devotion to Krishna, if somebody wants to control the senses, they will be doomed. Tani sarvani samyamya. Those on the other side, those who are Krishna conscious. Mat yukta asita makparaha. Yukta, they are engaged in, they are engaging senses in Krishna's service, and they are matparaha, means madbhikti yogena prabhavena sarvendri vijaya sulabediti bhavaha. That means only by the strength of Krishna consciousness, by bhakti, one can conquer the senses. Vashehi yasyendriyani tasya prajna prashta. That means all the senses he engages in Krishna's service and becomes matparaha. Ambarish Maharaj, he was a king, but he could control his senses by constantly engaging in Navada Bhakti, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu-smaranam, Padasevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakti, Matva Nivedam, by Karur, Hare, Mandiram, Arjanadishu, Manapada, Krishna Padar Vindayo, Sai Mana Krishna Padar Vindayo, Vacham Vaikunta Gunanuvardhane, by engaging mind in thinking of Krishna, by mouth in chanting the glories of Krishna, hands in sweeping the temple of Krishna, legs used to go to walking to the temple of Krishna, engaging all the senses in Krishna's service. And that is the way to control mind and senses. Now, for the person, now starts. If somebody, be careful, wants to control the senses without taking the shelter of Krishna, without engaging the senses in Krishna's service, without the strength of bhakti, if somebody wants to control the senses, it will happen, they'll fall down. The ladder of fall has been described of the person who wants to control the senses without bhakti. What is going to happen to them? Dhyayato vishyantam saha. No, I'm diabetic. I don't want to eat any sweets. I'm diabetic. No sweets. No sweets. But thinking of sweets only. There will be attachment. Sangas sanjayate kamaha. There will be desire. Attachment leads to desire. Desire leads to kamat krodho vijayate. Somebody says, no, I will not give you sweets. Then becomes very angry. Kamat krodho vijayate. Krodhat bhat sammoha. When in anger, sammoha, bewilderment. You don't know who you are. You think something else to be something else, something not there to be there, something there to be not there. Sammoha smriti brahmaha, you lose your intelligence, your memory that I am diabetic, I am this, I am belonging to a good family, I should not do all these things. You do all those things you're not supposed to. Smriti brahmschat vinashyati. Fall down. Buddhina. Smriti brahmschat buddhinasho. The intelligence is destroyed. When the intelligence is destroyed, you don't know what to do, what not to do, and pranashyati will fall down. Now starts a very interesting section. That is the fourth question. That is, how does a Sthita Prajna walk? How does he engage his senses? Somehow, I'm supposed to complete this chapter by now, but we have already time, and do it this section next week, and continue the third chapter also next week, and try to summarize the third chapter as much as possible. Okay, we stop here. Any questions, please to ask. Hare Krishna. So we have been discussing about the Sthita Prajna mentioned in the second chapter. The second chapter is a very interesting chapter where practically all the subject matters of Bhagavad Gita are cleared by Krishna. And especially Krishna, Arjuna wants to know what is the symptom by which a Sthita Prajna or a devotee or who is a fixed up devotee can be understood. Then Arjuna asked 4 questions regarding Sthita Prajna. That is, Sthita Prajnascha ka bhasha, Sthitadehi kim prabhasheta, kim asita vrajeta kim. I want to know I'm back, and some net connection was there, some fail. Okay. So Sthita Prajnascha ka bhasha. So bhasha here means the general formula by which a devotee conducts his life. Now Krishna answers that question in the 55th verse of the second chapter. He says, Prajahat yada kaman sarvan partha manogatan atmannev atmanam tushta sthita prajnastadocchate. What is the meaning here? How does a devotee conduct his life? What is the general behavior of a devotee? Is prajahati yada kaman. He gives up all kinds of desires, all kinds of desires, material desires. Why? Because these desires are only mental concoction. There is no actual reality, there is no substance in satisfying these desires. Because the same things what you say, I want, I want, I want. After some time, you would say, I don't want them. That means these things which are actually attracting you or make you think that I want it, I cannot live without it, they are actually of no use. You have repulsion. The same thing you say, I want it, I want it, I want it, and say you get disgusted and say, I don't want it. So to think that I cannot be happy without something which I want, that is the biggest illusion. That is why a devotee, he gives up these desires. Prajahati kaman sarvan. And then, second question asked by Arjuna is that Kim Prabhasheta. How does a devotee react to situations? Prabhasheta means how does he talk? You talk as a reaction to some question. So there are two reactions or two situations which come in our life. So what are two situations? That is miseries and happiness. So how does how a devotee should react to miseries or unhappiness, troubles, problems? He said, Dukkeshu anadvignamana, Sukeshu vigataspriya, Vitaraga bhayakroda, Chitadir muniruchate. So when Dukkeshu, when miseries come, anudvignamana, be very stable. To tell the Dukkha, oh Lord, you tell the Lord, oh Lord, actually more difficulties, more problems were supposed to come in my life. But because of your mercy, less misery is there. So this is the right time I take shelter of you. And I would like to do more bhajan of yours. And Sukeshu Vigata Spriha Sukha. When there is happiness, you pray to the Lord. Oh Lord, actually I'm not qualified for so much of happiness and so many facilities. It is because of your mercy that I have received so much of facility, so much of mercy. So I'll use all the facilities which are given in your service. So for a devotee, dukkha is a time when he can do more bhajan. For a devotee, sukha is a time where he can do more seva. Now somebody would say, I don't have any problem with dukkha problem, but I don't have any problem with the misery. But the problem is with the person who is giving the misery. So then the person who is giving you the misery is not your problem. So don't hate him. Yaha sarvatra visneha, 57th verse, second chapter. Yaha sarvatra visneha tattat prapya shubhashubham navinandati nadveshti tasya prakya prashita. Neither you say thank you, nor you hate somebody. No, you have blessed me, so thank you very much. You cursed me, I hate you. No, don't be neutral. The person who gave you so-called good is just a carrier, that's all. Somebody who gave you some misery is only a carrier of your misery. He is giving your misery back to you. That is your karma. So don't hate him. Neither you don't have to get irritated. Oh no, you're my dear friend. You've done so much of I'm so grateful to you. You've done this thing. No. Be neutral. Have compassion in both circumstances. How do you control the senses? Then 58th verse on 60 to 63rd verse. Krishna talks about how to control the senses, because third question Arjuna was, Kim Asit, how does it sit? How does a devotee control his senses? The example is given that of Kurmuangani Sarvasha. Like a tortoise would absorb itself. That means it takes the mouth, the head, and the legs inside as soon as it perceives some danger. The same way, when a devotee perceives the danger, what is the danger for a devotee? Sense objects, which he becomes attached to. So as soon as he sees some sense object which is attached to, then what does he do? He has to withdraw. Kurmangani Sarvasha, like a tortoise. He should withdraw his mouth. He should withdraw his legs. So that is what Krishna. But how long he is going to do that? Then Krishna says, Vishayavini Vartante, Irarasadena, Rasavarjam Rasopyasya Param Drishtva Nivartante. That is, as long as we don't develop taste in hearing and chanting the names of Krishna, as long as our mind is not completely absorbed in Krishna consciousness, till that time you have to practice both the things. Withdraw your senses from the sense objects and do sadhana. Practice Krishna consciousness, chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra fixed number of rounds, hearing Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita every day, by associating with devotees, accepting only prasadam. By this, we are developing taste in Krishna Katha, in Krishna Nam. To the extent we have taste in the activities of Krishna consciousness, that extent we have distaste for matter. Now there are some people who would say, no, I will control my senses by my own strength. If somebody tries to do that, he falls down. There is no way to control the senses other than by to engage in bhakti. That is why mat paraha, mat bhakti prabhavena sarvendriya. There's one king called Ambarish Maharaj. He was a great king. He could enjoy the entire kingdom, whatever he wants, everything was at his disposal. But what did he do? He engaged his senses in Krishna service. Savai mana Krishna padara vindayor. He engaged his mind in thinking of Krishna. Vacham Shvaikunta Gunanuvarnane. He engaged his tongue, Vacha Shakti, in glorifying Krishna. So, by engaging all his senses in Krishna's service, he could control his senses very easily. That is why Ambarish Maharaj is called a Matpara devotee. So, just become a Matpara devotee, by which what will happen is you can control your senses very easily. But those who like to control the senses without surrendering to Krishna, those people will fall down. How Tyagata Vishayankam Sahat, 62nd, 63rd verse, talks about the ladder of fall. How a person falls down thinking of sense objects, even though he's thinking that I don't want them, but still he's thinking of them. So without contemplation of Krishna, without bhakti, if somebody starts controlling the senses, they will fall down. Buddhinashat pranasya. We are done till now. We'll start from the 64th verse of the second chapter, which answers the fourth question of Arjuna. What is the fourth question of Arjuna? That is, Kim Vrajeta Kim. How does a Sita Prajna walk? What is the meaning of Sita Prajna walk? It means, how does the Sita Prajna engage his senses? That is what is the question. Now, Ragadveshu Mukteshtu Vishayanindriyas Charanatmavashya Vidheyatma Prasadam Digachi. A devotee, he engages the senses with the sense objects. There is a physical interaction between the sense and sense object, but there is no attachment, there is no raga, there is no dvesha. So the problem is not the sense objects, neither the problem of the senses. The problem is raga dvesha. Raga means attraction, dvesha means repulsion, aversion. Attraction and repulsion, aversion. Attraction and aversion. These two are the two coins of the word called attachment. Suppose somebody says, some fight happens in the family, and the husband says, get lost, I'm fed up with you, I'll take divorce. Now, what does he, is he saying out of detachment to her? No, he is actually attached, but it is negative attachment, that is aversion. Aversion is no detachment. Just because somebody is averse to someone, that doesn't mean there is vairagya. If aversion is detachment, then divorce is sannyas. Divorce and sannyas are not the same. Sannyasi gives up his wife, and a divorcee also gives up his wife. Now, what is the difference? A sannyasi is detached, that is why he gives up, and a divorcee is averse, that is why he gives up. So, raga dvesha muktesh. The problem is raga and dvesha. Vishayandriyescharan. The devotee gives up raga and dvesha, attachment, revulsion, and then he continues his life. Atmavasher Vijayatma Prasadamadigachati. Atmavasher. He controls his senses, mind. And then practices the principles of freedom. And for such a person, Prasadamadigachati. That is, he gets the mercy of the Supreme Lord. What is the mercy of Krishna? What is the meaning of prasadam here? Prasada here refers to that how the devotee, even though he is engrossed in sense objects, he is not affected by them, he is unattached. That even though he is in this world, he is not affected by the world. Even though he is around all sense enjoyment, but he is not affected by them. That is a special mercy of the Lord. That is prasada. So once you have prasada, the mercy of the Lord, then your all problems are solved, all the misery is solved. That is why the 65th verse says, Prasade Saradukkanam Hanirasya Saradukkanam Hani. All the dukkhas are destroyed by taking prasad. What is the prasad? Being unaffected by the sense objects in spite of being with them. That is a special mercy of Krishna. That mercy destroys all miseries. Otherwise, it's only misery, nothing else. Prasade Saradukkanam Prasanna Cheto Yaso Buddhir Pavit becomes very peaceful. And Paryavatishtate, he is fixed up in Krishna consciousness. That is why this verse actually states, the next verse actually, 66th verse says, Nasti buddhiruktasya nachayuktasya bhavana cha bhavet shantasya vitasya. Some people, they are thinking, I want to be happy, I want to be happy. Actually, everybody was thinking. But you are not even peaceful, how can you be happy? First, at least be peaceful. Then only you can think of happiness. So if you don't try to be happy, first try to be peaceful first. Ashantasya kutasukam. Without engaging your intelligence, your mind and senses in Krishna's service, there is no shanti, there is no peace. And without peace, there is no question of any happiness. That is why Indriyanam charatam yanmanu vijiyate. Senses are so dangerous that even though one of the sense objects, if even one of the senses falls on it, then tadasya harati pragya vayurnavimavamasi. Like the wind takes away the boat which is not anchored somewhere in the sea. In the same way, the person is dragged away by the sense enjoyment because he is not engaging them. Indriyanam charatam and manon vidiyate. As long as the senses are not enjoyed, engaged, they cannot be controlled. Tasmadasya mahabaho nirgriheta sarvashaha indriyan indriyartebhyastasya pratyaptishta. The one who controls the sense objects and the senses by regulating them, by engaging them, then only he can be successful in his life. There are two kinds of people. As soon as they see, somebody sees the sense object, they feel, I want to enjoy. And there are some who want to control the senses. The one who want to enjoy the senses, the other want to control the senses. And those who want to control the senses, their life is exactly opposite to the life of those who want to enjoy the senses. That is what Krishna says, Yanisha sarvabhutanam tasyam jagrati sanyami yasyam jagrati bhutani sanisha pashitomne. What is night for a materialistic person is a day for a spiritualist. And what is day for a materialistic person is night for a spiritualist. Now Krishna goes further. He says, what about the mind? So many desires are coming in. Let them come up. Desires come and then go away. But you should be like an ocean. Puryamana machala pratishtam samudramapa pravishyanti advat kamayam pravishyanti sarve shanti mapnoti na kama kam. Many desires are flowing into your mind. And mind should be like an ocean. Like so many rivers are flowing into the ocean, but ocean never overflows. The same way, be peaceful. Shanti mapnoti na kama kam. Those who want to satisfy the desire given by the mind, they will never be happy. That is why vihaya kamanya sarvam pumasyati nispriha nirmamo nirhankaraha sa shanti mandigacchati. Now, only a person, vihaya kamanya sarvam, who has given up all kinds of desires, Pumam Sad Sarva Nispriha. He is just wandering around without any desires. Nirmamo, he has no possessions. Nirahankaraha, there is no question of any doership. Such a person only can attain Shanti. Yesha Brahmistha Partha Nainam Prapya Vimuhyati Tveshyam Antakalepi Brahma Nirvana Richati. So, Brahma Nirvana Richati. This is how the second chapter ends, saying that anybody who practices whatever has been spoken here in this chapter, he attained Supreme Brahman.
Yes, Prabhu. So we will end the session here. So thank you very much again, Prabhu. And we pay our respects to His Grace Kamal Lochan Prabhu, Vancha Kalpataru, Vyascha Kripasan. Hare Krishna. So thank you all for joining us. And
Prabhu, my one comment to this both question.
yes, please.
Full crystal clear answer. There could be no better answer than what Prabhu has shown.
Right.
For the question.
Wonderful.
Wonderful.
So we hope
Thank you. Yeah.
It is benefiting all of you. And please do join us next Friday again. We will send you the notification. And also our course coordinator, Vrinda, will send all of you, particularly our devotees who are joining us from India, the details of our morning and evening reading sessions on Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita. You're most welcome to join us. And the details will be sent to you today. Hare Krishna. Thank you all again for your participation, and stay safe and healthy, and keep chanting Hare Krishna and stay connected. Hari Bol.
Hari Bol.
Hare Bol.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Thank you, Prabhu.
Krishna.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama.